So I presented this morning on the topic of anti-counterfeiting, key strategies for enforcement and prevention. And it's important to us at 3M because we manufacture goods like N95 respirators that were used heavily during the COVID-19 pandemic for frontline healthcare workers, for example. And so for us, it's important that the goods that we sell are authentic 3M products. In that instance, for the N95 respirators, if the product wasn't an actual 3M N95 respirator, we couldn't have certainty that it would actually protect the frontline healthcare workers from COVID-19 virus. So it's quite, simply a matter of potential life and death for the frontline workers. So very important that they're authentic products. And I think, broadly speaking across all of our product portfolio, whether it's tapes and adhesives, whether it's stethoscopes, whether it's respirators, we have products in, planes and cars and trains and all over the place. And so it's just important that our products are manufactured according to our standards so that customers buying under the 3M brand know that they're getting the 3M quality that they're paying for. That's a great question. So the current economic conditions are challenging, especially for large global multinational companies like 3M. And so one of the things that we can control inside the company is cost. And intellectual property is a cost to a company. It's something that you invest in to protect your products and your brands. And so for us, what we really focus on is how do we get the best coverage at the lowest price point. And so we do a lot of the work in-house, but we also have evolved a global team so that we have the right people in the right places so we can minimize things like translation costs, so we can minimize a lot of external service provider costs. Another great question, very timely. So what we know about generative AI type tools today is a couple of things. Number one, the law in this space with respect to IP is moving really fast. We know that AI tools can't be inventors. So it puts into question for us at 3M, if an innovation is created using AI, how do we protect that as a patent right at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, at other patent offices around the world? We also know that unlike things like Google searches or other sorts of online searches where you get a result set where you know where the content has come from and you can properly attribute sources for copyright law reasons, you don't get that when you get a result back, for example, in ChatGPT, a natural language-based AI tool. You can't tell where the information has come from in your result set, and so you're not able to attribute it to the source or origin of the content, which is a huge problem for copyright. And we believe that we need to honor other people's IP rights, so we want to be able to do that right. And then third, it's essentially a disclosure of information. And so we have to be very careful, our innovators at 3M, to not prematurely disclose content before we have perfected patent filings on the content if we so choose. So for us in the company, we're recommending that people don't put any 3M confidential info into these AI tools. And if they do and they create something out of it, we want them to clearly label that in things like our invention disclosure systems so that we understand what part of an innovation may have issues as far as IP rights